Hello, I'm Willie Smith, and welcome to Let's Talk Bible. I'm grateful you joined me today as we open the scriptures together. Our mission here is simple to help you grow more confident, more curious, and more grounded in God's Word. Each week, we explore a new topic designed to strengthen your understanding of the Bible and deepen your walk with the Lord. If you find these studies helpful, I invite you to subscribe and like the channel on youtube.com at Willie Smith 9100. Your support truly helps this ministry reach more people. We welcome all who wish to be part of our community. We study together every week. Press subscribe and like. Leave a comment and let us know what part of this world you reside in. Our discussion today is, what is this life? I will contrast how the wise man Solomon viewed life and the answer Jesus delivered as it relates to Solomon's concerns and Solomon's life experiences. There comes a time in every life when the noise around us quits just long enough for a deep question to rise within our hearts. We look at the path we've walked, the struggles we've endured, the victories we've celebrated, and we ask ourselves, why am I here? Was I placed on this earth for a divine purpose? Or is life nothing more than surviving hardships until the day we disappear, be forgotten by the life that we lived and a world we once knew? And if life truly carries meaning, then what are we to do with the days we've been given? Are we meant to chase possessions, status, and wealth only to leave it all behind for someone else to continue the same weary pursuit? If that is all life offers, then existence becomes a cycle without direction, a race without a finish line, a journey without destination. These questions are not new. The wise man Solomon wrestled with them centuries ago, searching for purpose beneath the sun. And Jesus himself confronted humanity with a question so piercing that it reaches across time and speaks to every soul even today. A question that demands thought. What is a man profited if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? These are words that call us to lift our eyes beyond the temporal and consider the eternal, to measure life not by what we accumulate, but by who we are becoming. This study is asking you to pursue, asking you to pause, to reflect, to rediscover the meaning woven into our existence. Life is more than just surviving. It is a divine journey, and every step has purpose. Consider this question Jesus asked. For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Recorded in Matthew 16:26. When we look honestly at the world around us, we see people chasing 1,000 different answers to the same ancient question. Some try to find meaning in success, believing that if they can climb high enough, earn enough, or impress enough people, the emptiness inside will finally quiet down. Others bury themselves in pleasure, hoping that if they can feel good enough, long enough, they won't have to face the deeper aches within their soul. And still others drift through life without direction, carried by whatever wind blows and what wind blows the hardest that day. But beneath all our striving lies a truth we cannot escape. The human heart was not designed to be satisfied by temporary things. Every achievement eventually loses its shine. Every possession grows old. Every moment of pleasure fades. And when the noise settles, the question remains, is this all there is to life? Solomon, with all his wisdom, wealth, and power, reached the same conclusion. He trusted that everything life could offer, success, pleasure, knowledge, and influence, and still declared it vanity, a vapor that slips through the fingers. His words echo across time, reminding us that a life built only on earthly pursuit will always leave us hungry for something more. And then Jesus steps into the conversation, not with philosophy, but with a piercing truth that exposes the core of our existence. He asks us to consider the value of our soul, the eternal part of us that outlives every possession, every accomplishment, every moment under the sun. His question is not meant to condemn, but to awaken. It calls us to examine what we are truly living for and whether the path we are on leads to life or simply to motion. This is where the real journey begins, not with answers, but with honesty, not with achievement, but with surrender. Because to understand what this life truly is, we must first be willing to look beyond what we can see and listen to the voice that has calling us since the beginning. Let's listen to Solomon, recorded in Ecclesiastes 12, where he examines life from a very young age all the way to the grave. And he proposes the question. Recorded in Ecclesiastes 12, he says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil comes not, now the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light of the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinder is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his lone home, and the mourners go about the streets. Over the silver cord be loosened, and the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken, and the fountain or the wheel broken at the cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was given, and the spirit shall return unto who gave it. Vanity and vanity, says the preacher. All is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, He still taught the people the knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and what which was when was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as gourds and as nails fastened by the master of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That's Ecclesiastes 12. Notice the wise preacher here, the wise man Solomon. He follows birth through youth, through old man, to the part when life begins to have very little meaning. After all the searching, all the questioning, and all the wandering through the quarters of time of human experience, Solomon brings us to the final word, the conclusion of the whole matter. A man who tasted every pleasure, mastered every discipline, built every achievement, and explored every path under the sun, ends his journey with truth so simple that even a child can grasp it, yet so profound that the wisest among us still struggle to live it. He tells us that life is not ultimately measured by what we gather, what we accomplish, or how high we climb. It is measured by our relationship with God, who made us. When the dust returns to the earth and the spirit returns to the one who gave it, all that will matter is whether we walked in reverence, whether we obeyed his voice, and whether our lives reflected the purpose for which we were created. Solomon's conclusion is not a warning meant to frighten us. It is a gift meant to free us. It frees us from the illusion that meaning can be found in the temporary. It frees us from the exhausting chase for significance in things that cannot last. And it frees us to live with clarity, with intention, and with eternal perspective. Because if the end of all things is to stand before God, then the beginning of wisdom is to walk with him now. Life becomes more than survival, more than ambition, more than endless pursuit of what fades with time. It becomes a sacred journey shaped by the one who sees every step, every struggle, and every secret place of the heart. This is where the question, what is this life? It begins to find its answer, not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet truth that we were made for God. And only in him do we discover who we truly are. Solomon brings us to the end of human searching, but Jesus brings us to the beginning of true life. After the teacher has shown us the emptiness of life without God, the Son of God steps forward and reveals what life was always meant to be. Solomon concluded that the whole duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. Jesus takes that truth and breathes life into it, showing us not only what we were made for, but how we can walk in it. Where Solomon exposes the futility of chasing the world, Jesus exposes the futility of trying to live without God. He does not merely point us toward meaning, he declares himself to be the very source of that meaning. He tells us that he is the way, the truth, and the life, and that no man comes to the Father except through him. In other words, the purpose of Solomon searching for, the purpose for which Solomon was searching for, is fulfilled in the person of Christ. Jesus confronts us with questions that pierces deeper than philosophy and reaches into the soul. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his own soul? With that single question, he shifts the conversation from earthly pursuit to eternal reality. He reminds us that life is not measured by abundance, achievement, or applauses, but by the condition of the soul and the direction of the heart. And then he offers what Solomon could only point toward: a life anchored not in striving, but in relationships. A life not built on human effort, but on divine grace. A life that does not end in the grave, but begins there. Jesus invites us to lay down the burdens of a life lived under the sun and step into the fullness of a life lived in his Son. So as we close this discussion, the question remains before each of us. If Solomon has shown us the emptiness of life without God, and Jesus has shown us the path to life with God, then what will we do with this day with the days we have left? Because the meaning of life is not hidden. It is standing before us in the person of Jesus Christ, calling us to follow him into the life we were created to live. Thank you so much for joining me in this discussion. I sincerely hope that something was said that will draw you closer to God and what he has prepared for you in eternity. He has an eternal home for those who love and care for the teachings of his Son. Don't forget to press subscribe and like. See you in the next study.